Construction number 1, congruent segment. To construct a congruent segment, you have to be given one segment so that you can construct one congruent to the first one you're given. So we're going to need two given segments on our paper. We're not going to measure. We're just going to draw. This one's about 4 centimeters. Well, let's try that again. About 4 centimeters. And another one that's longer than 4 centimeters. So something like that. Okay? You want two segments that are differing lengths. The first one we're going to call AB, segment AB on our page. That's given to us. And segment CD on the page is also given. So you have two segments. When you're given a worksheet, these segments will already be there. So in our notes, we have to put them there. So here they are. This one's about 4 centimeters. This one's probably more like 5 or 6. Okay? Now, we're asked to construct segment PQ that's equal to the length of CD. Here's CD. And we want a constructed segment down here that is called PQ that will be exactly the same length. You are not going to measure with the ruler. See, we will not look at these measurements on the ruler parts of your compass any. Okay? You're only using this to draw a straight edge. We'll measure from the center to one of these two holes in the sliding part of your compass. Okay? So here's the way this works. Step 1, after you have the given segments, we need what we call a working line. So use your straight edge and draw a working line. And the working line, here's the details of a working line. It's always more than you need. More than you need. So draw a segment there, just a piece of a line, all right? And we're going to label the endpoint P, because that's the beginning of our segment we're working for. Now, we're just looking for where's Q. Again, we're not going to measure with the compass. We're going to use the compass to measure with the holes in the compass. So the first thing we do now is put the center of your compass, everybody remembers where the center is, over C. And then we're going to move the sliding part until you see point D in the endpoint D in your little hole on the end here. Okay? So I now see C in this end of my compass and D here in the other end. I'm sorry you're not seeing that very well, but here we go. C is here. D is there. I've stretched this slider till I get D there. Now I have that measurement on my compass. I will now move it to P. Hold down the point P so that this will slide, and you put your pencil in where we measured to and make an arc. Okay, I had people the other day who were holding this still and trying to draw in there. No, you hold the radius, the center still. This should move, and you're going to draw an arc on the paper. That arc gives you your point D. Excuse me, that's not D, that's Q. Point Q. What did we do? We drew a working line. We measured the segment that we needed to with our compass, brought it to the end, arced it off. There's our other endpoint. Okay? That's constructing a congruent segment. The next thing we want to do is to add segments. So let's write add. And we want to construct XY to equal AB plus CD. AB plus CD. We're going to make a new segment. This new segment is going to be the length of AB plus the length of CD. What's the first thing we need on our paper? It's the working line. So I'm going to move out here, draw a working line more than I need. If I end up getting arcs beyond it, I would always just move the ruler down the straight edge and draw some more of the segment. Okay, just want to be careful. What will we name the end point of this working line? That end point will be X. Could it have been Y? Sure. We could have started with Y and then found X. Doesn't matter. Okay. Next, we will measure the length of AB. Use your compass. Put the center on A and find B in the little sliding part. If you push this down and it's still too long, you will have to use the inner one. But I encourage you to use the one on the outside most of the time so that you're consistent with which one you use, so you don't forget and have to remember things. It's always the one on the outside if it works. So here's my length for A to B. I'll move it to X, hold it down at X, and put an arc on my working line. Is that point Y? No, because we've not finished. We have to add to this the length of CD. So we go back up and measure from C to D. Okay? When you get that measurement, you'll bring it down, and we're not going to start at X this time because this is my length from A to B. I need to add now on the length CD. So we start at that end point and continue to add to this segment length the length CD. Now the question is, am I done? Is this point Y? Yes, it is. That's point Y. So what we have is the length from A to B added to the length from C to D, and segment XY is the sum of those two, the total of that length. That's adding segments. Next, we want to multiply segments. We want to end up with a segment, we'll call it MN, that equals 3 ABs. So we're multiplying 3 times AB. I'll give you a chance to write that down. Maybe I'll use a different straight edge. This ruler, actually, the measurements are worn off of it. So it is a straight edge, except for that part. All right, drawing the working line. Just draw more than you need. What will we label the end point? M or N, either one. Now, which segment do we measure? We'll measure segment AB. So you put the compass center at one endpoint, A, and find in the little sliding part point B. How many times will I mark this on the segment? I'm going to do it 3 times. So watch carefully. I place this at M, and arc, move it up, arc the second one, that's 2, move it up, and mark the third one. Now I have 1, 2, 3 lengths of AB. So now the total of this length that I've arced off is segment MN. let me caution you against one other thing. Some students will just stick the N on the end point of their working line. Don't do that. Be sure you look at your construction. N is where you ended your construction. Okay? So don't forget to just be careful of that. That's an easy mistake to make, and I don't want you to do that. Okay? That's multiplying. And now we want to do one more. We want to subtract segments. Subtract. We're looking for a segment RS that's equal to 2 CDs minus an AB. Okay? RS equals 2 CD minus AB. That's the problem we're after. First step. Who knows it? You know the first step yet? It's the first step. Every time we do segments, draw a working line. I'll use this side. Okay, there's a working line. What do I want to name the endpoint? R or S. And now, 2 CDs. So I'm going to measure segment CD and mark it off how many times? 2. So let's find the length of CD with our compass. Center at one endpoint, slide, and find the other endpoint. Okay. Now this is my distance CD. I need to do it 2 times. So I put R as the endpoint, R as the center, arcing it once. There it is. Moving up, that new point is my center, arcing it again. Okay, that distance is 2 CDs. Sorry about the paper moving. All right, what's next? Minus AB. Well, here's the deal. Think about the number line, and when you're getting positive numbers, you're moving to the right. But when you've got looking for negative numbers, which way do you go? You go to the left. So what we've been doing previously above, we've added AB plus CD. We moved on to the right. Here, essentially, we added 3 ABs. AB, AB, AB. We continued on in the right. Here, same thing with the 2 CDs. But now AB is subtracted. So the direction that we're going to use our compass in is going backwards. So first off, we do need to measure it. Okay. I have the measurement from A to B, but I don't want to add it to it. I want to subtract it. So look, I'm going to turn my compass 180 degrees. So now I'm measuring in the opposite direction. Here's the end point. You can see it there. Maybe I need to focus in on this part. Okay. I'm going to put that end point of where the 2 CDs were right in the radius. And then now I'm marking backwards. Okay. See how the arc is even going in the other direction. So you see how these are going in like parentheses. One's going one way, one's going the other. They're backwards, but anyway. Okay. Where did this construction finish? 1 CD, 2 CDs, minus AB. The arc where you finish is the last endpoint, or the second endpoint for your segment. So that is now going to be point S. Okay? Coming back out, and there we have it. So we learned to construct a congruent segment by just measuring it and arcing it off on the line. We've learned to add segments, one segment plus another segment. Multiplying, so however many times you continue to arc that off, if it said 15 of them, you'd, just keep going 15 times. And subtract. To subtract a segment, you are going in the opposite direction, like subtraction goes, or negatives go to the left, and in this idea, it's the same idea, going to the left. Okay, that's the end of segments.